and waiting for it. I think we are now live. So hello and welcome to the first Slam Jam wrestling show of 2025. I've now got to get used to saying that. But first things first, let's go to the intro credit.
Oh, well, yeah. It's a Slam Jam show. Yes, a Slam Jam show. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a Slam Jam show. What you gonna do? You dig that? You think you know me? It's a Slam Jam show. Bang your neck, slam beat, and you woo. Wanna rush? It's the Slam Jam show. Because the pain, the have a nice day. We're hitting the league, it's the Slam Jam show. With David Corey, David Gabb, baby. DJ is set, get the table. If you don't like it, we got two words for you. Slam Jam, Slam Jam. Feel the power, feel the roar. Slam Jam, it's the smackdown you've been waiting for. You can't see him, Chico, you'll be serving hot time. Oh, yeah, Slam Jam, and that's the bottom line. And now it's the Slam Jam wrestling show. We're live, well, it's the big show. You got no chance, we're anchoring the bookend. That's the is, that's the what's if you smell what we're cooking. It's the Slam Jam wrestling show, the champion team. Step into the Slam Jam, the Slam Jam show. Hey yo, it's true, it's the Slam Jam show. We've been through, it's the Slam Jam show. Big glass, woman ass, the Slam Jam and show, yeah.
And there we go. So hello everyone and welcome to the Slam Jam wrestling show from Slam Jam Championship Wrestling here on all of the Extreme Improv and Slam Jam YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, D Live, whatever channels it's on.
Blue
we're
Sky?
there. What's that? What's
Blue
that, Kat?
Sky? Blue
Blue
Sky?
Sky. I don't know if you can stream to Blue Sky. I'll get on there. There is a Slam Jam Blue Sky. Do follow it, everyone. But on the show tonight, we're going to be discussing all kinds of things. We're going to be talking about Raw's debut on Netflix, what this means for the future of professional wrestling. It happened last night. I have seen it. Say hello to the people, Dev.
Hello to the people. And my wrestling fact of the week is that it was the whole situation with the referee screwing over Ted DiBiase. The original plan for that was that even though the ref screwed him over, Wade and Cody were supposed to jump the enemy, the face team, so Ezekiel Jackson could still get the face save pop, right? But by the time they were going to do it, Wade had already left the ring, so they gave up.
Yes, no, absolutely. Do you know what? Like, I thought I'd jump back in time to like 2014 or something. But yeah, absolutely. We're bringing you the latest things. When you said like, screwing over Ted DiBiase, I was just like, what? The $1 Million Man? Like, how retro is this? Capital Fave, say hello to the people.
Hail from the land of John Cena's and Jeff Hardy's and Edge, basically the 2000s. This is going to be an old fact as well. I remember seeing on Sheamus's YouTube channel that he has like different stars on and follow their workout. But he had an episode with Jeff Hardy. This is probably like 2 or 3 years ago. Jeff Hardy said that when it was major injury that he had on his leg came from him doing dirt bike riding, and he had 0 injuries before that in the ring. So I don't know sure about that, but like at that time, that was his first injury from a dirt biking, not doing swanton bombs from whatever million heights that he jumps on.
Okay, cool.
I can confirm this, by the way. I can confirm this.
Good. You were there. Now, let's talk. Raw is now on Netflix. So, Cap, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. John Cena was on it. He is officially back. This is the last year. Like, you know, it is officially the final year of John Cena.
I mean, like, Hulk Hogan's like coming back. Undertaker comes back every week now, so like, I don't think that's gonna be his last.
No, I do believe Cena on this. Like he may turn up as an ambassador or whatever. But he basically says this is the last year of the jorts. So the jean shorts are going away after this year, and we're going to get into who we think his WrestleMania opponent will be. He did address that. You know, whether or not he'll have another world title run in him or whatever. Dev, tell me things.
So, like, I believe Cena will actually leave because he has other avenues to do, like, apart from wrestling. He's the one that successfully transitioned. Everyone else that Cap mentioned had nothing else going for them.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, like I don't really rate John Cena as an actor very much, if I'm honest. So I think
No, you take that back.
no, he's not a great actor. So when his career starts to go down and he's not getting like these Hollywood action roles anymore, like did you see him in Argyle? Like
Yes.
him and Henry Cavill.
I mean, like,
Literally,
David,
like-
many mistakes were made in that
Yeah.
movie.
So
Thinking
many
of Henry
mistakes were
Cavill's
made in
haircut in the poster is like the biggest one. So like, let's not use that as a benchmark.
Okay, but
Okay,
basically, let's deal with what we do have from John Cena. He did a great little bait and switch to the crowd. He said that, you know, people have said, who's he going to wrestle at WrestleMania? And he named all of the people that have been rumored. So he said, is he going to wrestle CM Punk? Is he going to wrestle Cody Rhodes? Is he going to wrestle Logan Paul? It's like he'll listen to the people, absolutely. But he said, people have said, is he going to break the Ric Flair record and have 17 world titles? But then he said, he hasn't won in 2,000 days. I don't think that's true. I think he didn't correctly say that he hasn't won a singles match in 2,000 days. But he said that there are other ways to pursue a world championship if you are in the Elimination Chamber or if you're in the Royal Rumble. So John Cena was the first person announced officially for this year's Royal Rumble. I think John Cena versus Cody Rhodes seems like a safe bet. The Rock was on the show. The Undertaker was on the show. Hulk Hogan was on the show. Let's have a look. Cena gives a performance in Ricky Stenicki that was far too good for that movie. I have not watched Ricky.
It's amazing. It's really, really good. It's
Okay, I'll have to check it out. Okay, Deb, give us some of your thoughts. We'll stick with Cena for a bit.
Sure. With Cena, and I believe he's going to have like several marquee matches in the pay-per-views. And Logan Paul, I believe the Logan Paul match will be saved for SummerSlam, as that's traditionally when the celebrity matches are held.
Yeah.
And,
well, no, WrestleMania as well. Like, but it does Logan Paul still count as a celebrity match?
Yeah, because he's still like he's barely a celebrity, but still. And also, the original plan was to have Rock and Cody at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
but The Rock has to do Moana reshoots.
That's because they have to reshoot the entirety of Moana too. Did you see that crap suit they had him in?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's just he didn't want to have the tattoo work done. He's already got tattoos. Just let Maui have those tattoos.
Give him a wig, and he doesn't even need to
fake tattoos. Give him fake tattoos.
Well, no, they did, but they gave him fake tattoos on a fake body. It looks shit.
Why? Just put it in and slap it out on his own body.
Have you not seen this, Cap?
I knew it was a suit, but like it's not that. Like in terms of Disney remake quality, it doesn't really,
Okay, let's bring this up. So Moana live action. These are all like AI bullshit. I'll have to look to see where the real photos are. But yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it as we're talking. But yeah. Like, so
I think fighting Cody would be great because like now Cody is set up as this like Homelander type of character. John Cena was kind of like the Superman character at the 2000s. So it would make really good sense if the two American icons fight each other, pass the torch.
So a few weeks ago,
Yeah, go on.
Triple H was saying how there's modern wrestlers who take the roles of people that like roles they had in the past. Like he said that Roman Reigns is like The Rock, Seth is like me, and
Roman
Cody
Reigns,
is
not the
now
Rock, but
in the position that Cena was back
Yeah.
then.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
I'd agree. Cody is Cena, except for a few differences. Cody is a better wrestler than Cena was, easily, right?
yeah,
The interesting thing, though, is the audience turned on Cody in AEW, but not in WWE, whereas they turned on Cena for the majority of his career. And it was Triple H's fault. I always bring this up whenever this subject comes up. Triple H, leading up to their first WrestleMania main event, was like, well, he can't do more than 3 moves. And like no one was saying that Cena couldn't wrestle until Triple H buried him as the heel, as someone that wasn't a good wrestler.
But I have to say that Cena's most memorable rivalry still, for me, is still the ones he had with like Randy Orton. That one still sticks very well, more than even though that he had like long running things with like CM Punk and The Rock and stuff. For me, like Randy Orton's still like his arch nemesis type of thing.
Yeah. 1 second. Let's just deal with these Moana pictures whilst I've got it here. So he just looks so thick. He looks like Ben Affleck as Batman in the suit, and that's his actual body. It's like The Rock doesn't need to have fake bodysuit muscles. It was ridiculous.
I don't know. The Rock's ego is pretty low, so
okay. So I think I know the reason why, right? The Rock can't bring himself to be that big because he's scared of not being able to lose it again.
I would say this in terms of, I know that let's all address the obvious thing in the room. He's obviously juicing, and at a certain point, juicing is not very good for you, and you hit a more older age.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, he was this big within the last year because he was at WrestleMania, and he is big enough to play Maui, for goodness sake.
No, like Maui's like wide, isn't he? Like
he's burly and wide.
No, but like he doesn't need to be wide. They don't need to make him like screen accurate wide. He'll be like, wow, it's got the perfect voice for Maui.
Yeah,
he's got the right hair for Maui. He has tattoos. He literally is. Maui was just based on the Rock. No, but it's just a wig. The
anyway, Maui is based off his granddad.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay,
so Maui is like, what am I, chopped liver?
So anyway, John Cena, who do we think his WrestleMania opponent will be? We know he's going to be
Cody.
In the Royal Rumble match. Do we think he'll win it? Do we think you think he'll actually win?
I have a very good reason to think so.
Okay, go on.
Because again, they did this whole thing of like, if you remember the build-up to versus Taker, where he tried to do everything to fight Taker.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like that. He's going to do everything he can to fight Cody, and Mania is going to be his last option.
Well, do you know? Look, I think there's a reasonable chance that Cena will win the Rumble. I think they'll get to Cody versus Cena because I don't know who else is a good WrestleMania opponent and a good last WrestleMania opponent.
Randy.
Do you know what? Randy Orton, he came back, was instantly overshadowed by CM Punk. And Randy Orton, when Randy Orton came back from injury, because he's like an almost career-ending neck injury, he came back the same night, Survivor Series 2023, that CM Punk debuted immediately after the match. Randy Orton's kind of just been also played ever since.
Have you seen the segment?
He hasn't had a real place in WWE.
Have you seen the backstage segment that happened right afterwards?
Yes, I have.
Like the backstage is like, you're gonna give me 10 fucking minutes.
Yeah. No, like Orton Orton is in the peak of his career. Like what he was doing during the pandemic, up and even the stuff with Matt Riddle and the stuff that he's been doing since is great. It just is too bloated. At any point, they could put Orton into the main event, but it would just kind of be taking the spot
I think
of someone else.
The great success they always have with Randy is like the unlikely villain that comes up and like complete. Even sometimes he do this rather. Remember the time remember Seth Rollins was like pushing it, and then Randy Orton was like the old Triple H's favorite, but then he come back and like beat up Seth Rollins. Like that's like heel overturn. And when he does that, he's the best at when he's like backstabbing, like again being a snake. He's the best at that. So give somebody a good moment and make Randy steal it.
I think Gav in like the Slam Jam group chat may have suggested Randy Orton is on path to go against Kevin Owens, and that makes sense for WrestleMania because I don't know what either you do with either one of them outside of that for Mania.
Because again,
Cena versus Cody makes sense if The Rock isn't going to be there. If The Rock was going to be there, I would 100% do The Rock versus Cody. And to me, there is still the chance they could end up there. We'll get onto The Rock in a second, though. Go on, Dev.
Because of the Moana situation, we're not going to get The Rock for WrestleMania. But I love the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton thing because what they did was also amazing. With one segment, they legitimized the Power Driver again.
Yeah.
Basically, it took Orton out completely. Like,
Kevin Owens gonna say I beat John Cena on my first day. I beat Randy Orton on WrestleMania. That's gonna be his tagline afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you something. Someone that they need to do something with, right? And that is Macaulay Culkin. I'm going to play this.
Wait, what?
I'm going to get them copyright struck. Look, they had this cameo. Seth Green was there on the right here. And you see this guy, and he's got his head down. I can't play the audio, so let me just make sure it's muted, in fact. Right? But you had this moment where when Macaulay Culkin was revealed to be there, he got a Road Warrior pop on Netflix.
Yeah, he did.
He got the biggest pop of the entire night. CM Punk's entrance didn't get as loud a pop as Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. It was insane.
Do you know why?
The dream situation. Macaulay Culkin pisses off wrestlers. They all chase him, and then Macaulay Culkin lays some traps on the wrestlers, and they all slip. They fell. They go to the pancake wrestling.
They could literally do that. They could literally have some sort of match.
I've
Remember
got
when Johnny
the perfect-
Knoxville wrestled Sami Zayn? And it was like jackass stuff. Imagine if they'd got Macaulay Culkin in like a 6-man tag, and it's like, and something happens, and then suddenly it's like, oh, and then there's like a tarantula on someone's face. Right. Anyway, Dev, go on.
I've got a perfect Macaulay Culkin segment, and also a geek fact. Macaulay Culkin was at WrestleMania 7.
That's awesome. WrestleMania 7, that was 91, right? Was he even in anything by that point?
Richie Rich.
Richie Rich was much later.
Was it?
Yeah, that was like 94.
But yeah,
91, I believe, is when Home Alone 1 came out. So unless he was like WrestleMania 8, that was 92. So that would have been right after the Home Alone. But when was My Girl?
7.
Okay, so maybe My Girl was out. Right, but anyway.
The segment I had planned was basically the show begins with R-Truth giving Macaulay Culkin the 24/7 title.
Oh no!
The entire show is him avoiding getting pinned with traps and everything.
That works. That works.
No, it doesn't. Like one of the things I loved is as soon as Triple H took over, there was the segment where I think Nikki Cross was the 24/7 champion. She just won it. She walks along, and then it missed, but she just dropped it in the trash, and it summed up what a Vince McMahon creation that belt was. That was it was booed from the minute they revealed it. They had Mick Foley be like, "Oh, and we've got this championship, and it's 24/7." Everyone's like, "The hardcore title is coming back, yes." And then it was this stupid, crappy green strap with the ugliest belt design on it I've ever seen.
Although I've seen stuff like some of the R-Truth avoiding stuff on YouTube. It's pretty funny though.
Oh, no, R-Truth made that title. So like when you look
Yeah.
back at the hardcore title from the Attitude Era, like the way Crash Holly was the champion. Oh, we've just lost Dev, right? But the way that Crash Holly was the champion, and he would always just be like just about escaping losing the title. R-Truth was that kind of comedy character that kept being the 24/7 champion, even though like he was like, how does this guy keep being the champion? Dev, we lost you for a moment. You're back. Live via satellite.
Isn't like one time Brock Lesnar actually like R-Truth walked in on Brock Lesnar's segment by accident, and then Lesnar actually told Heyman that I want to work with this dude. Did that ever happen? Like Lesnar
I
and
think
Truth?
you're muddling up a couple of like stories. So they did have a segment where R-Truth kind of had the challenge where he was going to try to make Brock Lesnar laugh. So Lesnar's in the ring, he's like Universal Champion. R-Truth comes out and he's like, and I'm going to throw you over the top rope in the Royal Rumble, Paul Heyman. And Lesnar starts pissing himself, laughing. It was great.
Yeah.
R-Truth is legit one of the like his career has got better the more he's just like he says all random stuff. Follow him on Twitter and that as well.
But remember the time like he was like this hardcore dude, like very tough guy who could beat up John Cena with the Miz. Sometimes they need to bring that back. It'll be a nice switch.
I think if they tried to make him a world champion again, they could suddenly be like, I've got my stuff together, right? And you can imagine like they'd probably still have the Miz there pumping him up in the corner or something. Anyway, let's roll on Netflix. You've got Netflix in the corner next to you, Cap. Let's come back to this. So The Rock opened the show. The show opened with like a video package, like a ginormous curtain all the way around the ring. It dropped down. Triple H was there. He didn't really say anything meaningful, but just led into the, "Are you ready?" And then like he'd done his bit, and then The Rock came out for like a long entrance, and then he didn't really say much. My one theory I'll say, and then I'll hand over to you guys. The Rock is going to be on NXT tonight. Now, I don't know. I'll see if I can find out what the predicted viewers or ratings or whatever is for Raw from last night. The Cap, about a month ago, whenever it was, we discussed the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul Netflix fight. And Netflix, I think, reported that got over 100 million people watched it. I'm going to predict, 100 million. They've got 260 or 280 million subscribers to Netflix worldwide. And like a third of them tuned into that fight. I think this debut on Raw is going to clear 50 million, and that's a very conservative guess. I think it's going to be ginormous. The only thing just 1 second. The thing which I'm thinking is they have NXT on there tonight. Now, obviously, NXT is on, I think, CW in the States, but in the UK at least, Netflix are showing NXT, and they are putting The Rock on NXT. The reason he's there, he still wants to come across like the good guy, so he can't come across like he's beating up Cody yet. He's going on there because his daughter is general manager, and he wants to pop the rating for her. When it comes to SmackDown, Cody Rhodes will be there. I think The Rock is going to do something. But go on, I'll hand over to you guys. Cap.
No, to backtrack on what you said, like how many million views did it got? Like Jake Paul versus Tyson?
I will check. It's something like 100 million.
Okay, so I remember this cartoon clip where there's like a magic chicken, and then a penguin is jealous of him, and he records it online and puts it on the web and says, "Aha, I recorded your trick online and I posted it. The whole world will know it now. They will finally figure out your trick. You can't fool an entire planet, baby." And the next day, everyone's like, "Oh, this magic chicken, this is real." And the penguin says, "I hate this planet. And I do hate this planet for making 100 million views for Jake Paul versus Tyson."
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this is lower because I literally looked this up earlier today. So perhaps this is a different source. But they're saying it peaked at 65 million concurrent streaming. So there could have been more that watched it over the next day or whatever. But 65 million people watched Tyson versus Jake Paul live at the exact same moment. So I think Raw from last night is going to have like a 50 million at least.
Well, is the TV deal still on? Is it still going on TV as well?
Apparently, well, here's the thing. Apparently, because I was tweeting as the show was happening, and they said about we're going to a commercial break. I was like, what do they mean a commercial break? It's just on Netflix. And apparently, in Japan and one or two other places, people responded saying,
I think in India and also
yeah, I
in
think
Sri
so.
Lanka, they probably have to still do the TV because like everyone has Netflix on their phone, but not a lot of them actually uses it. So it's gonna be like very, very rare people who actually do have a subscription on Netflix.
But most around the world, Raw is on Netflix now. SmackDown in the States is on USA Network, so that one is going to be kind of different because even though it's on Netflix most of the world, in the States, which obviously they're a US-based company, they'll have to push that. We're on the USA Network and Netflix. Whereas for Raw, they can say we're on Netflix as the main thing. But yeah, so I think The Rock will have some presence on SmackDown this week in relation to Cody Rhodes. Because they showed The Rock go over, shake hands with Cody, whisper in his ear. I think there is storyline way that they can explain this because a few months ago, the reason why Kevin Owens is pissed off at Cody Rhodes is because Cody teamed with Roman Reigns. And everyone was saying, yeah, Kevin Owens is justified to be angry that Kevin Owens and Sammy and all these people and Cody teamed up to fight against the Bloodline. And then when they destroyed the Bloodline and it's all imploded, suddenly Cody is helping Roman against Solo Sikoa. And so Kevin Owens
Isn't
was
that
pissed
just
off.
wrestling?
But here's the thing. So if the idea is that Roman Reigns and The Rock are still, because they were a tag team, The Rock and Roman haven't fallen out on screen. If they were still tight, then it could be that The Rock appreciates that Cody helped Roman. It could also be the case that that they buried the hatchet, whatever he whispered to him, that, because there was a thing after the Raw after Mania last year, The Rock handed something to Cody. We didn't ever see what it was, and I think he whispered something, or maybe whatever it was. But the fact is, I think they can explain it, and at a certain point, Cody Rhodes can be like, "Hey, it's my friend Dwayne," and then rock bottom. Dev,
I know what the thing was.
What, in his hand?
Yeah,
it was a condom, wasn't it? It was like, meet me backstage.
Basically, when the Shield first started, The Rock gave Roman, Seth, and Dean Rolexes.
Yeah,
and it's another Rolex just like this.
Did a Rolex? How big is a Rolex? Did he give him his daughter's Rolex? I know he's got big hands, but I didn't see him palm a Rolex there. That is Artful Dodger stuff.
Let's assume that he gave him a note. What do you think the note says?
Meet me in my room. No, I don't know. It could just be
that
a what.
Could be an improv game, David. What did The Rock give Cody Rhodes? Pick your punchline.
Yeah, put it into the chat, guys. But maybe it was a Rolex, but they should have showed it if that was the case. I hope it wasn't that Dwayne was actually giving Cody Runnels something, and because everyone watching that was like, "What was that?" It was like when the Undertaker whispered something to Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's since passed away, and now we'll never know what the payoff of that ever could have been.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, we'll never know. We'll never know unless they do something with Uncle Howdy and the Undertaker. But I don't know. The Undertaker was on the show last night. As
the Undertaker or the Biker Taker?
Biker Taker, right? It's amazing. Biker Taker was on a Raw on Netflix, and he never actually stepped foot into the arena. He was only ever on the bike. And there were 4 matches on the entire show. We'll go over the matches as well. So we had Roman Reigns against Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala. We had Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre in the piss break match. I'm not going to lie, it was a bit underwhelming. We had the main event, which was Punk and Seth and then we had Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, women's world title. Liv Morgan lost the world title to Rhea Ripley, and as Rhea Ripley is walking down the aisle, suddenly the Undertaker's dong, and she stood there. And the Undertaker just drives his motorcycle all the way around the ring, drives all the way back up the entrance aisle, stands there with Rhea Ripley. They both put their arms up like the Undertaker does, and that was the segment. So
What?
that was it. That was they and I was joking that they paid the Undertaker $2 million for this appearance. He didn't do anything. God damn.
Do I have deja vu, or has Undertaker done the whole drive by, leave thing before?
Possibly, but do you remember why or with who?
It was one of the anniversary Raws, like the 1000 for like 2004.
Was it what? Do you remember there was like the Raw that was a bit of a disaster where they had like two arenas, and one of them was the very original Monday Night Raw arena. Was Undertaker in like the shitty like old building for that, and did he just come out and do nothing?
I'm not sure. Like I remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah. It all blurs together.
Yeah, it does. Now they have announced, it wasn't on the show last night. They have announced that Goldberg will be on the Raw on January 27th, I believe. And there was something else that came up about that date. But speaking of people who perhaps shouldn't have been on the show last night, we did have this wonderful moment where Hulk Hogan came out. He didn't even go near the crowd. He didn't even walk in between the people to get towards the ring. He came out with Jimmy Hart, who was waving an American flag, and he cut a promo that lasted 30 seconds and was booed out of the building, much more than Dominic Mysterio or the New Day could ever wish to be.
Why? Why is that comparison? Explain the comparison.
Oh, well, no, the only comparison is that obviously in the last year, Dominic Mysterio has been incredibly booed, so loud that you can't hear his promos. About a month ago, there was like the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the New Day. And Big E had obviously been away for about 3 years, I guess. Wow. With a broken neck. He came back and said that, the New Day have lost their way and now he's going to be their manager. And then Kofi and Xavier Woods were like, you were gone. We don't want you anymore. And they got nuclear heat for it, right? Now, I only give those examples because they've really got heat in this modern day where not many people get heat. Like everyone cheers the heels and everything. Dominic and the New Day have got real heat. Hogan got the biggest heat that I've heard in 25 years.
I like that, like, even like pro wrestling kind of turns into like even like MMA thing. Like think about like Khabib, he fought off and he went off, and then whenever we see his face on anything UFC related, we're like, yeah, oh no, but like Conor McGregor still like, whenever he shows his face, everyone's planning to roast him more than doing anything to him. I like that Hulk Hogan has turned into those people. Like you stuck around too long. You stuck around too long.
Do you know what? I don't know if we should go into it all, but that isn't actually what's the problem there, Cap. There's two things, but go on, Dev.
So me and Dave both know the actual reasons why he gets booed, but I'm going to stick to the in-show version, where it's like he was meant to put over the Netflix Raw partnership, and the first thing he says, like wrestling is full of great partnerships, like me and beer. Trying to sell his beer.
Well, yeah. So what's it called? Like Hulk Hogan American Beer or something?
Yeah, real American beer.
Real American beer. Right. No, but look, like Logan Paul comes out and he's got his prime, and Ric Flair went on AEW with Woo Energy. I'm not going to begrudge anyone for product placement. Look, I'll give the short version. So a few years ago, Hulk Hogan had got a friend called Bubba the Love Sponge. He was like a radio host. He actually got him a job in TNA as a commentator or something. Bubba the Love Sponge was like, hey, Hogan, I want you to bang my wife. Then Bubba the Love Sponge secretly filmed it, right? Now, if you roll forward about 2 or 3 years, Hulk Hogan sued a website that aired this footage. And Hulk Hogan got like a settlement of something like $80 million. And you could say, well, Hulk Hogan was wrong. They shouldn't have secretly filmed him. However, on the video where Hulk Hogan was secretly filmed, he used language which was deemed to be racist. And it didn't come off very well. It wasn't a good look, to put it mildly. Roll for, and Hulk Hogan was banished from WWE when this all came about.
Yeah.
Like Vince McMahon banned him. At a certain point, WWE were like, we're going to reopen the doors to Hulk Hogan, but they actually did a thing backstage where they had Hulk Hogan come and address everyone so he could kind of apologize for, you know, any upset or hurt that he had caused. And apparently the story is that Hulk Hogan said, like, hey guys, you need to really be careful in case someone's secretly filming you. And apparently the New Day in particular, I think, I might be wrong on that, were like, no, that wasn't the problem. It wasn't that you were secretly filmed. It's that you used racist language and you're not apologizing for it. So when this all came to light, Hulk Hogan wasn't universally forgiven. Let's put it mildly.
Yeah.
That is chapter 1. If you roll forward,
Hey, there are multiple chapters.
Yes.
there's only one more chapter. I'll keep it. Something.
This is what they summed it up by saying, "You stuck around too long."
Well, no, okay. So the other thing that went viral a few months ago from Hulk Hogan is like literally like a day after President Trump was shot in the ear. Hulk Hogan came out and was like, he's my best friend, and like did some wild promo. And the funny thing was, this clip on Netflix was almost the exact same promo. It was quick because he was like, like that, and he was like, it said Trumpomania, and then last night he was like, like that, and it said Netflixomania. And it's like, you're definitely going to upset at least half the people in this building. This wasn't the way forward. I said in advance that if, you know, obviously, you know, if people don't get along backstage, real thing aside, if they really wanted, Hulk Hogan should have come out with Dominic or with the New Day as their manager and played into the fact that he's a heel. And then he would have been booed and they'd have been like, oh, good work, Terry. You know, pat on the back. But
Yeah, just come out like Netflix Hulk Hogan. Instead of Hollywood, have him like come out in red and black as the Netflix Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, yeah, he should have he should have come out as a heel, right? And he should have been like, all you people are here because of me, boo. And they'd have been like, oh, Hogan's still got it. But instead he came out to Real American with Jimmy Hart there, Jimmy Hart trying to hide behind Hogan and not be seen. It was epic.
I'm not with this man.
I hate that I just got the perfect segment.
Go on,
just have Kofi and Xavier in a ring, and they're saying they found the perfect third man to join them to replace Big E, and have Netflix Hulk Hogan show up.
Yeah, exactly. Like they wouldn't have. The thing is, they wouldn't have done it, and I get it. But if they could have done that to work together, they would have benefited from the heat generated. But Hogan's cameo was the one thing that didn't work so well, to the point that that directly after that they had Seth Rollins and CM Punk main event, and I was like, shit, the crowd are a little bit silent because they're all too angry that Hulk Hogan was there. Dev.
Okay, so 2 things I just realized. Apparently, after the Rhea match, we weren't supposed to get Taker, according to whatever I read online.
Wow.
We were supposed to get Becky.
What happened then?
We have no idea. Like,
what, Taker just happened to be there, just hanging, just chilling? It's like, what was Taker originally there for?
I think literally, like, we had a WrestleMania situation where Taker came in for Stone Cold. Taker came in for Becky.
Oh my god, who cares about Becky? I'll be honest, I'm not a
because
Becky fan.
She was huge, and like she's in a lot of the promos for Netflix on Raw.
Yeah. No, they did.
So-
Apparently, Steve Austin was going to be there, and he backed out, and that might be why we got Hogan. Like, I don't understand what the relationship is with Steve Austin and WWE anymore. It's like, does Steve Austin not want more money, more fame, and stuff like this?
It's like, I don't want to do nothing with you, folks.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the problem. No, he wants more money. He's always said the WWE doesn't give him enough for him to come back. He'll come back for enough money, but they refuse to give him what he wants.
Give me $1 billion and I'll come and drink beer.
I think that's a mistake, though. I think that is a mistake. Austin, he isn't going to get tons of opportunities to do this. He'll reach a certain point where he can't be Stone Cold anymore.
I mean, David, like, Hulk Hogan is still coming back, so I don't think Stone Cold's relationship and date is probably not that far.
The other day, there was a thing where Ric Flair said that he's still got one more match in him. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, like, because of Hulk Hogan and like Ric Flair like hanging around, it makes sense that like Austin can do it whenever he wants.
Okay,
Wait
hang on
until
one second. Breaking news. This isn't breaking news, but I just saw it. Look, WrestleMania 7, Dev. There you go.
Yeah.
He's wearing the same jacket as well. He's got the
Yeah.
exact same jacket on. It still fits him.
There's also a video online of him doing thumb wrestling with Braun Strowman and Paul Heyman on NXT.
Wow. Do you know what? Macaulay Culkin, I wish he had a bit more of a career still. Like, I think they definitely could make Home Alone 3 with him.
He married Paul London. That's probably the latest news of him.
What?
No, London Tipton.
Yeah.
Brenda Song.
Wait, what? You're saying the Macaulay Culkin married Paul London?
No, it's another character called London.
Okay,
But like,
there's an actress called Brenda Song.
Yeah.
And she played a parody of Paris Hilton called London Tipton.
Right.
And that's who he's married to.
she's the famous one behind the Prindle meme.
Yeah.
Okay, so help me out here, like Cap, if you didn't see it, but help me out, Dev. Like, who was the guy during Jey Uso? Like, he was like a famous singer of some kind that was just smoking a joint live on Netflix.
I know who it is. I'm trying to remember the name.
Oh yeah, I don't know who it is. I'm not
Travis
up to
Scott.
date with the Travis Scott. Oh yeah, that is the name I heard. I don't know who he is, but literally, Jey Uso was doing his entrance, and he's just smoking cannabis live, and it's like, you know, the whole arena could have been evacuated if it set off some like smoke alarm or something.
Okay,
Wild
so that just reminded me. Do you guys remember, like, about 20, I want to say 15 years ago now, when they were doing a UK tour at the O2 Arena, R-Truth was being a heel, and he lit a cigarette in the arena.
Yeah, I do
And
remember that.
And the entire crowd just says, just out shouting, "That's illegal."
Well, I can't remember the chant, but I do remember that was a thing with the R-Truth and the cigarette. That was such a random thing. Oh, another piece of news where they're not even trying to make it like spoiler free or whatever. Next week's Raw is going to have Chad Gable against the debut of Penta El Zero Miedo, or whatever his WWE name will be, which might just be Penta.
Wait. Like, how is he coming to the WWE? With the costume or without the costume?
Of course, with the costume.
No, with the costume.
Oh, thank God.
They've already shown like the mask that will have like the throwing star and the eyes. And
Okay, what's his character? Probably don't be something lame.
Okay, his character is, I used to be in AEW and they're holding my brother hostage there, which is inhumane, right? Okay, so Cap, if you don't know the background, okay, Pentagon Jr. is what he used to be known as, but he wasn't allowed to use that name in AEW. So he became Penta El Zero Miedo because he'd got a catchphrase, Zero Miedo, which in Spanish means zero fear, right? Or no fear. And their contracts ran out at AEW, and it got leaked out that they were planning to go to WWE. So Tony Khan added a whole year of injury time onto his brother's contract. So his brother is stuck in AEW for a year. and so his brother will turn.
Revenge of Tony Khan.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? This is we can get onto AEW, but I'm very pro AEW. But like for anyone watching this on Twitter, you'll think I'm very anti AEW just because they're too easy a target. But yeah, you do stuff like that, you're going to lose fan support. Go on, Dev.
Also, I don't know if you saw the tweet recently that Phoenix tweeted out that AEW never paid for his medical care while he was injured.
Well, it's like this, man. Do you remember when CM Punk said that? Well, do you remember the whole saga of CM Punk? He obviously got injured when he won the world title from Moxley at Brawl Out.
Yeah.
And then he later said that they never looked after him. He had to arrange his own doctors. And Tony Khan was like, oh, I'm sorry if that happened. But literally at Punk's last appearance at All In London 2023, Punk was waiting for a car to take him to Wembley Stadium. And they were dickheads to him and they didn't arrange it. And Punk had to go on the London Underground, like on his own. So when he got to the arena, I'm sure I talk about this on every damn show. The conspiracy one day will come out that Punk is friends with Jungle Boy and they got into a fight an inch away from Tony Khan's face just so that Punk could be fired and that he could get the hell out of there. That's my prediction. Because Punk, look at Punk now.
Wasn't there a whole thing about CM Punk threatening Tony Khan?
No, he didn't threaten Tony Khan. Oh, let's see if we can find the backstage footage. So the footage that changed everything. So what was it? Brawl
also,
in.
Before you, I need to say something before you bring it up, David.
Yeah, go for it.
Did you know that Raw, he wore the jacket?
Yeah.
That he wore during Brawl Out.
Yeah. Okay. So hang on. All in footage. You put Brawl in. It doesn't come up. All in Punk footage. I don't know. Perhaps I won't be able to find it. But months after Punk was already back in WWE, Punk did an interview where he basically said, "Yeah, I didn't sign that. I couldn't speak about this. Jungle Boy had done some crazy stuff. I spoke to him, so I just choked him out a little. It was the responsible thing to do," which is such a funny thing to say. And it made AEW look bad. So then Tony Khan was like, we're going to show the footage of what happened backstage where Punk and Jungle Boy got into a fight. And do you know what? Even if I show it in my... Oh, here it is. Let's see. I'll leave it on the screen this small. And hopefully that won't flag an issue. I could bring up a shield, but I won't. Apparently Nicolas Cage is 61. Wow. Okay, so just to add to the commentary to it here, there's Jungle Boy, and here comes CM Punk, and he was wearing that jacket last night. And Jungle Boy had done the whole thing where he got thrown through a car with real glass and then said it to the camera to antagonize Punk. They had some words. Samoa Joe's over here just sort of getting ready for his match with Punk to open the pay-per-view. And suddenly Jungle Boy slicks his hair back and suddenly Punk shoves him. Because I think Jungle Boy says something to the effect of, well, what are you going to do about it? Now, you'll see that there are some TV monitors here, and just behind this corner is Tony Khan. So this is important to know. And that might be Jerry Lynn or someone here. So Punk pushes him. He chokes him out. The TV monitors almost get knocked over. That's Tony Khan reaching over, pointing. And look, and Punk lunges. You can see Punk doesn't actually get physically to touch him. But Punk lunges forward, and that's it, right? But apparently Tony Khan then did go onto television to address the crowd live, and also a pre-tape where he said, CM Punk's contract has been terminated. I have never felt that I cannot be safe at a wrestling show ever before, and he was like, I never felt that I had to fear for my life. And so when that happened, literally the next show was when Edge debuted in AEW. And that was in Chicago, Punk's hometown. Now, if they hadn't announced that Punk was done with AEW, maybe they'd have got some extra tickets sold on the day. But it was famous that Edge ran out for his debut and looked across at no one sat in one side of the arena. And it's the case that ever since then, AEW have sold.
That's at that point where he's like, I'm gonna be known as Cope now because I'm coping about this.
Oh, that we should have just discussed that on this show. That is the worst name I've ever heard.
The rated R Cope.
No. Absolute insanity.
How can something like cool from Edge go to Cope? Like, what was the correct character decision behind this?
Well, okay, so when you look at there's probably more than one thinking. So John Moxley is just Mox. So they were like Adam Copeland, Cope, and it's just like it doesn't work. Mox sounds stupid, Cope sounds stupid.
Adam Cope.
Adam. Right, but yeah, exactly. They could have.
His finishing move. Just cope with it.
Yeah, I cannot cope with it, basically. But yeah, so Dev, you obviously saw the main of. Well, you saw. We haven't actually discussed any of the matches. We can quickly go over them. What did you think of Roman and Solo?
Roman and Solo was good.
What was your star rating for it?
I want to say 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I
It was a
agree.
lot more slow paced, and people are not used to Roman wrestling as a face.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, not in a few years, but yeah.
Like, you can't have the whole untouchable final boss aura that he's had for years, and as a good guy, it's like in Power Rangers when the Sixth Ranger gets defeated and joins and looks weaker. It's like that.
Well, the Green Ranger when he became the Gold Ranger.
No, when he got defeated and joined the team, he went from beating everyone up by himself to needing everyone's help.
Yeah.
It depends on the character. So I can definitely see something like The Undertaker being that guy. He can be a face and he can be the undefeatable end boss. I can't see that with Roman.
Yeah, it's very hard to do as a face without looking like Cena.
Well, true.
I think you can, but like like I said, like the character itself needs to be so intimidating, whether he's a face or a heel. It doesn't matter. Like the character itself is very intimidating. Which they haven't done that. Like probably like Braun Strowman. Maybe they were going with that. Like use like this. Brock Lesnar probably. Brock Lesnar probably.
No, what about the big guy, Bronson Reed?
Wait, what are we saying now? We're just naming people. I've lost what we're trying to say.
Intimidation.
Intimidating character, whether they're face or a heel. They're intimidating.
Brock Lesnar's intimidating whether he's a face or a heel. Because Brock Lesnar
Has he ever been a face? Has he ever been a face?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar's been a face 2 or 3 times. But
Okay.
when he's a face, people just cheer him. He doesn't do anything different whatsoever. It was like Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid. When he was a heel, he looked like this. When he was a face, he looked like this. He didn't do anything different with a gimmick. Yeah, like I thought, well, look, here's the thing. Solo Sikoa, I give all the credit to in the world. He came in, he was just like the enforcer guy. And I think he was miscast to be the suit-wearing leader. It was never believable. He was the tribal chief for the better part of a year, and he never won a world title. I don't think I don't know what happens to Solo and the new bloodline now. I think what they could do is have Jacob Fatu take over, but I wouldn't even have Solo swap sides. I'd just have it that Jacob Fatu is the new leader of it and work out something from there. Bring in the tall guy, I forget his like Haku's other son, and Zila Fatu or whatever. Bring in a couple
and Zila.
Yeah, Hikaleo, that's it, right. Bring in a couple of people, refresh it up. But I think Solo has done his best, but I don't think he was ready for this position yet. Go on, Dev.
Here's the problem, right? With the whole new bloodline, Solo should have never been leader, and people were terrified when they brought in Jacob Fatu because Jacob Fatu eclipses him in ring skill and promos.
Yeah, or
If
personality.
you've seen him actually promo, like before the whole new to WWE version, if you've seen him in like MLW and stuff, his promos are Roman tier.
Yeah, no, Jacob Fatu for like years when he was in MLW and he was like a long reigning world champion there.
Yeah.
It was like, why is this not? And it was because he'd got some conviction or something in his past.
Yeah.
But it was like, why will WWE never give him a chance? And thank God they finally have.
Yeah.
But if you remember a few months ago before he debuted, they actually said they're holding off his debut because he's going to eclipse Solo.
Yeah.
And I think the way they dealt with it is they said to him, all you're going to say is I love you, Solo. We're not going to have any doubt on that. We're just going to show you, put all of your energy in support of Solo.
Like even turning Tama Tonga into one of the hyenas from Lion King.
Yeah,
just to make Solo look better.
Yeah, that's great. Tongaloa. I'm such a fan of Tongaloa. I want him back.
Yeah.
I want the hyena back.
But yeah, so I would give that a 3 out of 5. Drew versus Jay, I would give 2.5 out of 5. It didn't do anything wrong, but that was honestly where I was a bit more on Twitter. It wasn't gripping me.
Yeah. I
So
would
how
have
is
liked to
Drew
see
doing,
that.
by the way? Is he like still the intimidating guy, or is he Drew McIntyre?
Drew is great. He is.
Yeah, Drew's great.
He is so. His character, like Vince McMahon, is gone, and suddenly everyone's just using their own personality, and everyone's found so much personality. Drew McIntyre accidentally injured CM Punk in the Rumble last year, and it became a year-long feud, which was like the best storyline outside of anything after WrestleMania with Cody in that last year. And there's a photo of Drew McIntyre with Jungle Boy where he's like just to antagonize
Who is this Jungle Boy?
Okay, you wouldn't even know who this is. Okay, so Drew Jack Perry.
It sounds like a joke.
There was a well-known actor,
Luke Perry's son.
Yeah, called Luke Perry, but you won't necessarily know who that is. But Jungle Boy was one of in AEW. There were 4 wrestlers that they said are the 4 pillars of the company. How did that work out? One of them was MJF. One of them was I've forgotten who.
Darby Allin,
Sammy Guevara, and all of them are cruiserweights basically. And you'll understand how none of these should have been pillars, except for MJF when you see this photo. But anyway, so Jungle Boy. Literally, he's the son of a famous actor, right? He's a good-looking chap, sort of got like movie good looks, but his gimmick was basically that he's Tarzan. And it was ridiculous.
And then a pet dinosaur.
And his tag team partner was called Luchasaurus, and he'd sit on his shoulders. And then they had like a little hobbit that was their third man. And then Jungle Boy became a heel, wanted to do a spot where he would go get smashed through like the windshield of a car. And CM Punk said, no, you don't do that indie shit. It's bad. Someone's going to get injured. And he overruled it. Then at All In London in 2023, Jungle Boy did it. He leant into the camera and said, real glass, go cry me a river, right? Which Punk was right to be upset about because one, he'd been overruled before because it was a bad idea. But two, if you say to the camera after you've just broken glass, saying that it's real glass, it implies it could have been fake glass and is exposing the business. So anyway, but CM Punk gets into a fight with Jungle Boy. CM Punk gets fired. He comes back to WWE. Drew McIntyre injures him. And then at some random airport, Drew McIntyre bumps into Jungle Boy and they take this immortal photo. Just to antagonize CM Punk.
God.
Which obviously
How-
Punk probably loved that, right? But this
How
photo went
small
up
is
and
the
was
Jungle Boy?
Well, exactly.
Like
Drew
the
is like
funny
giant.
thing, like when you, no,
Drew
when you
is the
said
size
like
of a wrestler.
when-
Jungle
when
Boy
you-
is the size of Harvey Whippleman.
no, the
Well, I'll
thing
show
is
you-
like when you guys said like Tarzan, right? You can make that character work, but if you don't name him Jungle Boy, because like that kind of sounds like George of the Jungle. Like you're going for Tarzan, but you decided to be a parody of him, and
Look,
you turned it to Jungle Boy.
I'm not trying to. Okay, I'm not trying to shit on this guy here because I think he's had to retire. But there's probably a reason why, because he shouldn't kind of have necessarily been a pro wrestler anyway. So if we go back to the image of Drew McIntyre with Jungle Boy, and you say about like, wow, how small is this Jungle Boy when stood next to a real wrestler? You then see their third man, Marco Stunt, who is that small compared to Jungle Boy.
That's
look
the
at
pillar
Jungle
of
Boy there.
AEW.
Yeah, this was the cream of AEW. So look, you had Luchasaurus, who was the size of a wrestler. You had Jungle Boy, who wasn't, and this was one of the problems AEW ran into in the early days, is that you had this guy, and good luck for him for trying to be a wrestler and everything. But the problem was, is that you had like Penta El Zero Miedo bumping for him and like selling for him, and he doesn't look credible as a wrestler. And so, like WWE had, do you remember James Ellsworth?
Yeah.
Right. You can have James Ellsworth. You can have Harvey Whippleman or Bobby
Colin
Heenan
Rhodes.
get in the ring and they seem like a chicken shit or whatever. And then the real wrestlers beat them up, or they hit the real wrestler with a chair, and then the real wrestler will just turn around. But when you've got Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy taking down people that are like John Moxley or Sheamus or actual huge guys, it doesn't read as accurate.
No, I think it could work if you go the Rey Mysterio route, not the boy band wannabe route.
Let me show you something though. So the thing about Rey Mysterio, he's a little guy and he used to be very skinny, but at the same time, he's completely credible and always was completely credible because let's show here. When you had him against Kurt Angle, which is one of the ways they introduced Rey Mysterio into WWE. When you see him with Kurt Angle, it's like, wow, Kurt Angle is a lot bigger, but it's believable that he might be able to pull a fast one. It was the same as when the 1-2-3 kid X-Pac got a cheap victory over Razor Ramon Scott Hall, and then after the match,
like that image, David, like it's like a strength versus speed and maneuverability.
Exactly.
It kind of goes, yeah,
absolutely. And after that match, though, Kurt Angle just went, "I just got beat by a freaking 12-year-old," and you play into it. You play into it, but if you act like, well, there's no reason why Rey Mysterio can't beat the Big Show. Like Rey Mysterio probably did beat the Big Show, but when
like
you had Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar destroyed him until Daniel Bryan was able to. Well, he's got enough heart to make a comeback. The problem
that was the whole thing with like
these guys were equal.
No, that was the whole thing with Rey Mysterio. Like every time Rey Mysterio was in a fight, he was, when it comes to like physical altercation, the other guys always took the advantage of him.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio gets going when he's like has momentum build up on him and like he's jumping in the ropes and he's like, oh, even when he kicks out of a pin, right? Rey Mysterio never does this. He always raises his shoulder because he can't push them away.
Good point.
This character work did have like good storytelling potential going into it. Like he's fully dedicated. I think the wannabe boy bander probably is not, from what I'm getting from you guys.
Well, do you know what? There's potentially something you can do with Jungle Boy, but having him seem as a credible.
He was good in New Japan.
Sorry?
He was good in New Japan. If he stayed in New Japan, he'd been good.
But people are generally smaller in New Japan. Like you don't get like Okada is
was good.
relatively big in Japan, but he doesn't seem as as impressive compared to like a lot of American wrestlers and stuff. Okay, we've kind of got off track. We can begin to wrap things up soon. There is a couple more things I want to touch on, plus anything you guys want to bring up. Punk versus Rollins. Dev, give us your thoughts.
Punk versus Rollins. It was actually like they needed a good match to cap off the show, and between the wrestling ability and the pre-existing story between them, including like the fact that they really don't like each other in real life, tied into the whole new blend of like reality versus wrestling that Netflix trying to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that was a good match to cap off on. But I'm just worried that's going to lead to a mixed tag match in the future with Becky and Seth and AJ and Punk.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a good chance of that. It won't be at WrestleMania. Punk, I don't know if you saw that there was a press conference afterwards, and they kind of said about Punk, do you need to main event Mania? And Punk was like, oh, that's kind of what I was saying 10 years ago. And he was kind of saying there was elements of, I just main evented the main event of the first Raw of Netflix. So he was kind of taking that as his WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So Punk versus Roman, do that. Cody versus Cena. And that can be night 1 or night 2. Yeah. Roman versus Punk. You've got 2 nights of WrestleMania main events. I don't know what else they could do that would be any better, unless Rock is going in there against Roman or Rock is going against Cena. But I would do Rock
versus Stone Cold.
Do you know what? If you got Stone Cold back, do Stone Cold versus CM Punk. That is the match that people
No.
15 years people have wanted that match. Like, literally, there was times where they were like, guys, get a room already, because they kept teasing
I think Cap doesn't know the backstory. CM Punk is ridiculously anti-drinking. He hates drinking so much.
Okay.
So, and Stone Cold is a fan of the occasional drink.
Is that the actual backstory? I thought they were good friends.
No. I mean, that's the storyline they were trying to build.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, I'm not going to lie. If they made this about I'm straight edge, that would be
terrible. That would be terrible.
They did it in a segment like in 2016.
Yeah, but that was because
backstage.
Punk was a heel at the time.
Yeah.
But can if Stone Cold does come back, right? Like, can you be able to cut a promo without setting off alarms? Like, oh no, censor this, censor that, censor this.
Yeah, they're on Netflix now.
No, it's Netflix.
Yeah,
you can see fuck. In fact, my friend, we had a bet going, right? Yeah. Whether they didn't introduce Seth as Seth fucking Rollins.
They could do that. Well, The Rock was F-bombing constantly last year.
Oh. You got fined for each one, though. You got fined for each one. It was hilarious.
Did he actually get fined, or was he just like, he's The Rock? Oh, we're fining him.
So
he was.
I found out, right? Even if you're the Undertaker or Triple H, you still get fined by the WWE for breaking the rules.
Yeah, probably. But I wonder if that's still the case in the Triple H era.
Oh yeah, right. That's true, because now the majority shareholder of TKO, who's not part of a group or whatever, is The Rock. He owns like a shit ton of stock now. He bought even more.
Okay, guys, before we wrap up, Cap, you had brought this up yourself. Let's actually discuss it. If WWE did Squid Game, I would love to see this as a series. This would be awesome. Who would win if you've got the entire WWE roster? Because look, there's 500 or 456 people in the Squid Game, and there's not that many people on the WWE roster. So say literally the entire WWE roster was on Squid Game. Who would we say would actually win?
Santina.
Wait, who was that, Dev?
Santina.
Santina Marella.
Yes.
Why?
He'd sneak through. Like he really won the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Del Rio.
Right. So What like
My-
so? Yeah, go on, Cap. Go on.
Yeah, my actual thing is like I've only seen season 1. I haven't seen season 2 yet. Again, you can't really say like pure athleticism. That's why like I don't think Kurt Angle can do it, is because like pure athleticism doesn't really count in Squid Game. Maybe like the strength event, like the rope pulling and stuff. And probably the end thing where it's like playing Skippy or something where you're actually fighting. Other than that, you're gonna need people who are like very good at parkour, very have hand coordination, very good, and also playing good at marbles and stuff like that. And most of the wrestlers are so juiced that like they can't really do stuff that anymore.
Okay, so I think Gunther is a good contender.
What?
Yeah.
No, he failed Sweet Candy.
Yeah, he was great the whole thing. He's so big.
No. I think Gunther. Look, he's. Like, I don't mean to lean into a stereotype, but he's Germanic. He's from Austria. He'd be disciplined. He'd be disciplined as hell. If you've seen.
So you're saying that. So
disciplined.
David, are you saying that Gunther used to be an artist, then he realized that he's better off as a wrestler?
No.
I know what I'm saying.
Bron Breakker would do well, but again, if there's stuff where it's about like more smarts, I don't know how much dog.
I'm going to use someone who's not WWE.
Go on.
Well, he used to be though. John Morrison.
Yeah,
Johnny Nitro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Johnny surname.
Johnny Squid Game.
Yeah.
The thing with like I don't know, but I know that John Morrison will do well like in parkour and stuff, but like for the cookie thing, the reason why I stuck with Jeff Hardy is like he's a painter. He actually does paint.
Yeah. I don't know.
The big guys would lose. I think the Divas.
Bianca Belair, yeah. I was thinking Bianca Belair could actually be a contender.
I think Divas will actually have a good chance as well.
Also, like my wish next week is for Damage Control to have a segment with Penta.
Yeah.
Because during Lucha Underground, Penta just spent like ages beating them up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do a callback to Lucha Underground.
I have so like we can put layers on this discussion, David, is because like usually in Squid Games, right? In the season 1, you kind of see some people pair up as teams, and at the end they got eliminated as it goes along. In the final, you get fight. So, what team would you pick, and what guy do you think would survive at the end of that segment?
Okay, so the Bloodline would actually team up and stick together, wouldn't they?
Okay.
They would really protect.
Will they win?
The first one to get killed would be Tonga Loa, though. He'd run forward, bang, 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 like this. He'd be gone. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think the Bloodline would. They'd probably in the middle of the night they'd go out and kill a lot of the other people.
Oh yeah, that segment. Yeah, you could do that. I think the New Day will also have with Big E and like the three of them.
No, New Day are finished. Kofi just botches at the Rumble nowadays. He can't do anything anymore.
Really? He can't do his stunts?
No, his stunts at the Rumble 2 years in a row he botched them and he doesn't do it anymore.
So
now.
in his place, it's now the Ninja Warrior girl that does it.
I can't even remember who that is, but
Caden Carter.
Oh, actually, you know what? Would Logan Paul do well? Because he's just like a freak of nature, athletic.
Really?
Yeah,
really? He survived. He survived the Beast game, so probably.
Yeah, like Cap, you need to watch more WWE. Logan Paul, when he came in, he did a tag match with The Miz, and everyone was like, "Yeah, he's pretty good." And then a few months later, he was like wrestling Roman and wrestling Rey Mysterio, and he was like he was holding his own in the match.
Yeah, and he saved Mysterio's life.
Yeah. Did you see the clip of Mysterio where he's like, "Nah, he didn't save my life. It's a nice story," but yeah, he didn't like that. I don't know. Like, I'm not seeing anyone that I feel like are definite contenders outside of what we said.
Why do I imagine like the Squid Game's happening and then the White family trying to kill the organizers?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Guys, what happened to Fandango?
Oh, he's still wrestling in TNA.
Oh my God! What is he? Is he just Dango now?
Yeah, Dango.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I was never a fan of Fandango. I know people say, "Oh, but in NXT," but nah.
I met him in Woolwich.
Wow.
You're designing in Woolwich.
Shane McMahon is still on this roster page.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think they
And
put him
Shane
back in after they took out Vince.
Did we skip past? Is Brock Lesnar still on here? Because that comes
Yeah,
up.
so,
Yeah, we did get past Brock Lesnar.
Did we? Is Brock still on here?
Yeah, you passed him. Go down.
Again?
Go down.
Oh yeah, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, one thing it just reminded me of, like, deleting people from history. Like, they showed Stephanie. I was like, this wouldn't be possible without Stephanie. All of this wouldn't be possible without Stephanie.
Well, as soon as they got to WrestleMania last year, they started calling it the Triple H era. And look, I've discussed this conspiracy theory before. I think, now I don't want to get into like the real stuff because I know there's a real lawsuit, this Janelle person and all that. I think Triple H and Stephanie put someone into position to get the dirt on Vince McMahon. And they got him removed because Stephanie literally became the president for a while. Vince came back to sell it. So either it's Stephanie and Triple H got the old man out the picture, or maybe it's The Rock. The Rock bought the XFL from Vince, and then his childhood friend Nick Khan is the vice president of WWE. So between them, there was maneuvering to get rid of the crazy old man who had Braun Strowman do choo-choo noises that were piped into the arena.
Wow, The Rock's been trying to take over DC, and he's now taking over WWE.
There is a new balance in the hierarchy of whatever he said, whatever the guy was. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
Henry Cavill's gonna ruin it.
Sorry, what's that?
Henry Cavill's gonna come into WWE and like mess up his plans.
Yeah. Okay, let's begin to wrap this up. I'll check to see if there's any breaking news. I didn't think it was necessarily a 5-star match between Punk and Seth. 4-star certainly. I think they can do. I think they can do something a bit better. I think they can push that even further. I think they've got a better match.
What if Conor McGregor makes an appearance?
Nah, he's just been cancelled as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's so desperate. He's like, "Hey, WWE guys, I can come to you guys. I can work with you."
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't see that there's any immediate
it's not breaking news, but Matt Morgan did tweet this out.
Matt Morgan, we're back in 2014. Go on.
Yeah, I think I put a tweet in StreamYard.
You put the tweet. Okay. Well, hang on. I have to copy this link. Okay. Copy link address. Matt Morgan. That's a name. The Blueprint. Great job, Tony Khan. Fearing for your life, bro. Thank God you feared for your life. Give us this moment. And that was Punk after the match. You know, I'd like to think Tony Khan was watching Raw because he definitely was, but I'd like to think that he was watching it and enjoying it. You know, he's still a wrestling fan. But Punk though, he can. Punk is the modern day Bret Hart, and that's exactly what he wants, right? Punk cannot let the past go because that same image we were speaking about earlier. Punk had on the exact same jacket. He can't help but reference the past. He loves taking that dig. His last day in AEW to now he's main eventing the main event of the first night of Raw on Netflix. He just loves it. He's twisting that knife in so much. But look, NXT is tonight. There'll be SmackDown on Friday. Along the way,
it's a pay-per-view. What is it like? It sounds like a pay-per-view, but it isn't.
What is that? Oh, New Year's Evil.
Yeah.
It's not a pay-per-view. What it is that this is AEW's fault, actually. It's not their fault. I think it's a good thing. This is one of the good things that AEW contributed to wrestling. AEW, they've got pay-per-views basically every month now. But when they first started, they were doing like the big four. All In, All Out, Double or Nothing, Revolution, and Full Gear. But along the way, they'd have occasional episodes of the weekly show, and they'd say, this is AEW Dynamite, Winter is Coming, or AEW Dynamite, Bash at the Beach, which they had the rights to for like 1 year. And then suddenly NXT were like, we need to do that. And so that's why you suddenly just got NXT Halloween Havoc Week 1, Halloween Havoc Week 2. And then one of them that they're doing like that, it's just regular NXT, but it's NXT New Year's Evil. I'm not really up to date on everything NXT. I can't remember. Let's look it up. New Year's Evil NXT. I forget who's wrestling Trick Williams against. I don't think it's Ethan Page or whatever. New Year's Evil. That's last year's 2025. Okay. So matches. So it's Trick Williams, Obafemi, and versus Eddie Thorpe, and then Roxanne Perez versus Julia, Cora Jade, Jordan, Lola Vice, Stephanie Vaquer, Lexis King, which is Brian Pillman Jr., Charlie Dempsey, and then another match. I'll probably catch some of it, but this is probably why they've put The Rock on the show. They're just trying to pop a rating. Go on, Deb.
I like how Brian Pillman's son is wrestling William Regal's son.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Oh, but so Pillman's son, didn't he want... he wanted Regal to manage him.
Yeah. Because two kings.
Yeah.
And he did for like one show.
Yeah. No, so yeah, that'll be good to check out. Dynamite will be along the way. We'll see if they stick with Rated R Cope or if they should just call him Rated R Legend, just with the word edge in the middle. Or, for God's sakes, call him Ridge. His name is Edge. Ridge, Edge, it sounds similar, and they both mean edge. Just call him Ridge. It's fine.
If they do,
why
away
not?
with you.
So wrestlers can't use their names outside of their promotion. Is that a thing? Like the
not if it's owned. So he could be called Adam Copeland because that's his actual name. Christian Cage, his name is Jay Riso, but he was in WWE as Christian. And before he went to WWE, he wrestled as Christian Cage. So when he left WWE, he could still be called Christian Cage because he'd used it predating and therefore had the copyright over it, because you don't have to trademark something to own the copyright if you've been actively using it. So that's why Christian Cage could be Christian Cage. If you go back historically, the Dudley Boys were in ECW and they went to WWF and they were allowed by Paul Heyman to keep using the Dudley Boy name. When they then left the WWF and went to go to TNA, Vince McMahon said, you can't be called the Dudley Boys because I have bought it. Even though they had used it before going to WWF, Vince McMahon said, I now own this, you can't use it. So it was real bastard stuff. But generally speaking, CM Punk was CM Punk before he went to WWE, so he could still be CM Punk when he went elsewhere. But if WWE create a name, then they don't let you take it.
I guess that name is stuck with Edge's identity. I gotta say, like Edge is Edge.
By the way, small tidbit: the WWE did make a press release saying from now on, wrestlers who made their name in the WWE can use their names once they leave the company.
Wow,
it's a new thing.
No, the thing is, like,
that's crazy. I know that TNA did something because there was the whole broken Matt Hardy thing, which was like a weird thing.
Yeah.
But I can't believe WWE would do that. Like, imagine if Undertaker suddenly said, "I'm going to AEW." They'd give away money. You know. Anyway, guys, I can't see there's any other breaking news, so let's wrap things up here. If you've got any final thoughts or whatever, let people know where they can find you. Cap, where can the people find you? And any final thought?
You can find me on Swanties, wrestling, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And recently there's a video about Mufasa and Scar reviewing Mufasa, the Lion King movie. It's a sketch review, go check it out. And yeah, you can also find me here on numerous shows.
Okay, Dev.
You can find me on TikTok and Twitch under the name FWWDAT. And my wrestling recommendation of the week is Gabriel Kidd versus Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? I haven't seen that, but I intend to check it out. Okay, and was it Wrestle Kingdom? Was it Wrestle Dynasty?
Both.
Okay, fair.
So it's like
Well,
Kingdom on the
wrestling.
third, Dynasty on the fourth.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, my name is David Pisansky. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Pisansky. But also, more importantly, check out Slam Jam Show on X. Check out at Slam Jam Wrestling Show on YouTube. Smash the subscribe button. Facebook /Slam Jam Wrestling Show. Follow it there. Let's keep this thing going. This was episode 99 of the Slam Jam Wrestling Show. So I don't know.
Wait,
There might
only
be another
99?
one. Yeah, 99. Yeah.
How long has Slam Jam been going? I feel like it's more than 2 years.
It is. It's just you know, it's sometimes difficult to get you guys all organized at the same time. But guys, if you're watching, if you're a wrestling fan, if you want to be on a wrestling discussion panel show podcast thing, get in touch, you know, and the shows will be more regular in 2025. There may even be a second show this week. We might
And now
have.
you jinxed it.
Yeah, exactly. But there might even be a second show this week, possibly on Friday. Look out for that. But there's definitely going to be a lot more regular ones this year. Might even just be me popping up to rant about whatever it is that Triple H and Tony Khan have got going on in the crazy world we call professional wrestling. But with that, until next time, stay safe, always stay extremed, and ciao for now. Boom. We are off the air, you Slam Jam bronies.